Greetings, fellow readers, Rambling Collector here, and welcome back to another book review. So this one here is going to be fun, because we're going to be once again diving into the world of indie authors, and this is an author whom I have reviewed twice in the past in the history of this channel, and both times, their works have been an absolute knockout. I'm of course referring to Anastasia, whom will be the subject of this video today with her newest works, Poe Prophecies, a new young adult series that they've been putting out as of recently. And by God, after reading the first two books, I am already enthralled and wanting to know more. And not to mention also, I love the concept of this, which we'll get into for a little bit here, but first I want to talk about my history with Anastasia. So I have met her in person a lot in the past, due to conventions and whatnot, but more than that though, I genuinely enjoy how they have a sheer variety when it comes to their works. They go from things to vampires to a science fiction romance involving a dying alien race, to essentially involving Egyptian mythology, which is never, hardly ever used, unless you're counting the Kane Chronicles by Rick Riordan, but even then it's still a rarity, to now doing a series where you have an academy devoted to folks, children, mind you, or teenagers, studying the works of Edgar Allen Poe to discern prophecies or future visions from them. That alone tells me that Anastasia has a great variety as a writer, and is able to flex her writing muscles quite well, if you ask me. But now onto the subject of Poe Prophecies. Like I mentioned before, this is a more young adult series, as you can tell by the book size, which kind of reminds me of Goosebumps in a way, if I'm not going to lie. Like, just the sheer page length, like, it never goes above 200 in both of these books. Now, that might change, considering that the series is now up to 3 books, with a 4th on the way, but I like the fact that it's a smaller page length, which makes for easier reading and much easier collecting. Like, for instance, if you were to buy, let's say, one of these books, you could finish it within a day. And if you were to really try and challenge yourself, I'd say you could finish 2. But that is only if you won't have the time or devotion to do so. Anyways, though, I'm getting off track here. Now, I really love the main characters, first of all, of Aiden and Lenore, 2 best friends who have grown up together since they were small babies, at the very least. So they have a great childhood friend rep going off, and they both love the works of Edgar Allan Poe. And one of the things I like about the concept of this is that they are studying the works of Poe to possibly find incantations, to study prophecies or gain future visions, to really test themselves as prophets. So while there is magic involved in this universe, it's not strictly just all-encompassing magic. It is incantations related to discerning future visions of either, well, as I said before, future or possibly past, depending on how they are written. So there's always that likely chance that they will not work, which plays into the fact that there is a major murder mystery going on involving Edgar Allan Poe, which I'm not going to spoil here, but I will say, after reading about that part in the first book, I was instantly hooked, because I'm like, oh, so you're involving a murder mystery around a long-dead author whose works, as of now, thanks to 2 young students, they now know that he was possibly murdered. By who and for what purpose is unclear. But I like the fact that there's this whole thing of like another secret organization going on who wants to discredit Poe, who was apparently a natural prophet. They want to discredit him as a raving lunatic whose works are just pure fiction. And because of that, you have the prophets who are trying to essentially dismantle that. They want to prove that Poe's prophecies were real, which they have done so countless times, possibly diverting disasters, I should say. But I love this concept going forward. Aiden and Lenore, especially, not bad characters at all. But especially with the future conflict that emerges after book 2, which I'm really trying not to spoil here. But I like how there is drama, there is friendship, there is possible bloomings of romance, but there's also mysteries. There's all of that wrapped in just these 2 books alone, which, if you're wondering, the first book, literally a shout out to Poe with The Raven, and of course, book 2 being known as The Black Cat. Now, Book 3 itself is currently out, and Book 4 is most certainly on the way. But I genuinely want to learn more after seeing some of the plot twists that have occurred past each book. I want to see the end result, and I'm genuinely excited to see more. Now, with Edgar Allan Poe, he's definitely an author whom I remember actually studying one of his works before. Way back when, back in, God, I want to say middle or high school, one of the two. Oh God, how many years has it been? Help! But no. It was genuinely a lot of fun. It was essentially the story of the old man's eye, or the old man's raven eye, in a way. I'm not sure if I remember the title at this time. I apologize for that. It has been a while since I've read any of Poe's works, if at all. But now, after reading Poe Prophecies, I'm genuinely curious to read more. Now, I might pick up at some point a full, complete edition of Poe's collected works. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, the prospect of being introduced to a classic author through a young adult series centered around them is actually a really fun way to kind of get people to say, hey, check out more older books. You might find that you enjoy them. They might be complicated with all the ye olde English, but that's part of the fun. Now, with magic, I know that it is a very huge thing that goes on, and sometimes prophecies can be a very hard thing to do. However, I feel like here, they do it very well. They introduce the ideas of incantations that can create visions for you to see. Based on the certain wordings or phrasings that you use, you can possibly either gain a vision of the future or of the past, but nothing is certain. There might be things that have already been written in stone or things that have yet to come to pass. It's kind of like a game of Russian roulette or a betting on the cards. It's a gamble as to what you're going to find. And the familiars are just a lot of fun to see again. But I will say, though, there isn't much that I can say as of right now, but I will say if you want an addictive read that kind of gives you goosebumps vibes, or if you just want a really cool murder mystery, give this series a chance. I can promise you this, you will not be disappointed. If you want great characters, great writing, a really cool concept, this is it. So overall, I would give both The Raven and Black Cat a solid 10 out of 10. Because, once again, it's an enjoyable read. And if you are curious to check out more of them in the future, I have done reviews of Exile the Sky God as well as Fluorescence in the past. Which if you want to check those out, those will be in either the Book Rambles playlist or the Independent Authors playlist on this channel. I can guarantee, though, you'll have a great time if you ever want to learn more about this author. And at some point, I plan to do a Let's Read episode for at least the first book of this series with The Raven, so watch out for that. But again, if you've stuck with me to the end of this video, thank you so much for listening and listening to this crazy book nerd's ramblings. It really means a lot to me. Thank you very much for that. And if you like this video, feel free to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, or subscribe if you're interested in more of what I have to say. Or if you're just a fellow book nerd like me who's looking for something new and exciting to check out. Once again, thank you all for listening. This is Rambling Collector signing off for now. Have a great day, fellow readers.